And now it is time for the biggest storylines of one of our panellists tonight, and that would be Jan Aage Fjortoft. Here are his top 5 storylines from the Champions League group phase. Starting at 5, Jan, Spurs.
Starting on 5 with Spurs finished 4th despite PL struggles. And look at that photo. That was from yesterday from me. Look at this. They're playing Frankfurt. They look for Frankfurt away. Mwani back in Frankfurt, scoring there. And must be a good day for Eintracht Frankfurt. They only conceded 2. Normally they concede 3. And here's Solanke. So this is a team that is terrible in the Premier League. And they are so good in the Champions League, being 4th there. And it's like Clark Kent and Superman, this Tottenham team. I mean, we could add to that Villarreal as well. They are terrible in the Champions League. They go the other way. And then La Liga, they are good. But look at Tottenham. They were my 4. And what about the 4th? Napoli eliminated the reigning champion, Conte, McTominay, and look at them against Chelsea. I mean, Pedro is a good goal. He's doing all the right things. But Naples, I mean, Maradona, he will be crying when he sees this Napoli team in Champions League. And Lukaku and McTominay, they are all out of there. And Conte, the great Conte. Look at these results. Losing 6-2 to PSV. 0-0 against Frankfurt in the Champions League. Sorry, Frankfurter, that is not good from Napoli. So we go to my 3rd, and that is, of course, Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt, the 3 last games out of the season, they beat Dortmund. Now that's 2-2 at Dortmund. They beat City, and yesterday, I mean, beating Atletico Madrid 2-1 with Sherwold getting the winner. It's unbelievable result. And they say this is because of the cold. This is because of the AstroTurf. Well, check it out. This is not AstroTurf, and its temperature is not in -degrees. Fantastic Bodo Glimt, and they got a good crowd, as all Norwegians are. Look at them, 9 of 11 in the starting 11 Norwegians. And look at these results. And mind you, 30th of November, that was the last league game. 2-2 Dortmund, 3-1 Manchester City, and last night 2-1 against Atletico Madrid. So if we see the top 8, I mean, 5 Premier League teams finish in the top 8. And there are some pundits that I've heard as saying that the Premier League is not as good as it used to be. I just realized they are not on the show today. I won't mention any names, but one of them played for Chelsea, and he played for Celtic as well, and he got a famous uncle. But look at that, 5 English teams in top 8. It's fantastic. Premier League has never been better, ever. And then this, of course, there is only one winner. I mean, Trubins, we go back to the goalkeeper last night. Fredrik Aursnes, of course, a Norwegian, after Sheldrup made two goals, also a Norwegian. And look at this header. I mean, this is the best header we've seen this whole Champions League season, coming from an Ukrainian goalkeeper. Fantastic goal. And the story of the night, and Mourinho can celebrate. He can take all the honor he wants. But look at this, a goalkeeper scoring the best goal of the round. So that's my top 5 stories from the Champions League last night.
Well done, Jan. Let's put it to Shaka, because Shaka's the one who's used to doing the power rankings for us.
I've got no argument at all.
Liked it?
I've got no argument at all. All great stories for what... And again, whether we're debating about this Champions League format and whether it coughs up enough surprises, I thought there's far more than enough for us to talk about. I think Jan nailed it.
Is he missing anything, Sid?
Well, you know, the number 1 is the number 1, and it will be the number 1 for the rest of the season. That goal will not be bettered. I'd love to think it would. I'd love to think we're going to get something equally crazy, but that goal will not be bettered. I don't think there's anything we're missing from there. I mean, I suppose you could... I'm surprised, Jan, that we've not picked up on Bodo Glimt getting another fantastic result and doing it against Atletico Madrid, and maybe having the chance to play Real Madrid next as well. So that's really exciting too.
Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? Could be Bodo Glimt or Benfica. OK, we've been talking a lot about the format as well, not just the Premier League teams, and I think that was Brave Burley that it might rhyme with.
Right, I didn't call any names.
I wasn't quite
Jan
sure.
did not call any names.
Yeah, I think it might rhyme with that. Stevie, there's been a lot of talk, though, about just the format in general, what we think of the new format. Got the boys debating the other day on a show that I was on. What do you think of the new format?
I'm I'm one of those traditional guys. I guess a lot is to do with my age. And when it was changed, I questioned it. But I have to say, you can't question this. I mean, yesterday was a fantastic day. I remember the last rounds of the old format, and there was barely a game that was actually of any importance.
Yeah, true.
And so when you look at yesterday, compared to what I've just spoken about with the old format, I'm sorry. If you're going to stick with the old format, then your mind's closed, because I think that the new format 100% is working great.
Sid, do you hate change? Do you like the new format?
I'm a bit like Stevie, actually, and that to start with, it didn't seem to me to make a lot of sense. I thought conceptually the idea of having a league table when you're not playing everyone, of it being structured like this, didn't completely convince me. There's elements of it that I'm still slightly doubtful about, but yesterday's final game was fantastic, and in that sense, I was won over by it. I think one thing I would say is that I feel like we should possibly take a step back from allowing ourselves to believe that the whole format is great because the final day was great. I think it would be unwise to assume that that a goalkeeper scoring an amazing 97th minute goal like that to send Benfica through doesn't necessarily mean the whole format is brilliant, and that without that format that would never have happened, or that this has happened because of the format. It's still a goalkeeper scoring a header. That's still amazing, and that doesn't necessarily happen because of the format. I think there's one or two other doubts I have. I think there's a slight. I'm not quite sure how to express this. So I think there's a slight myth of jeopardy. So there's all this talk about jeopardy and wow, a big team might not get through. And I think it's a little bit of a myth. I think we sell ourselves the illusion of jeopardy. So, for example, in Spain, all the discussion was about, oh my goodness, Real Madrid didn't get through. Well, they did get through. They're just playing another round of the Champions League. Another round which, by the way, they'll probably win. Another round which they would have had to have played before anyway. So I do think there is a slight risk of us allowing ourselves to believe that not finishing in the top 8 is somehow, wow, you're out. It's not you're out at all. It's just a knockout round of the Champions League, which you will probably win. So what I mean by this is, I'm not saying I don't like the format. I think I'm starting to warm to it. I think I probably do like it, but I think we probably shouldn't allow ourselves to believe that it's more dramatic than it really is, if you see what I mean. And I think if you're a big club, you have to do something horrendously wrong to get knocked out.
But I think we should allow us to have that drama, Sid, because what we do know, whatever model they will find, the richest club will be at the top anyway. Mm-hmm. So let's at least have a bit. Let's have an illusion that something could happen, and let's have a go at it. And when we see now, there are 3 or 4 big teams in that bracket 2 that's in there, and I love that, and I like that there is excitement. I love to reading tables, and this is the ultimate table for us. I mean, we have something called Eurovision Song Contest in Europe, and that is the only thing that can beat this table. But the only thing that I think is funny. I think that is funny with this is that the draw, when they just do this kind of, and then suddenly you hear this out, and then something happened. And I mean, the weakness of this system, if you go through some of the draws, there is of course teams that have had a much easier path than some of the other teams. But at the end of the day, the best teams will win the Champions League. The richest teams will be in the semi-final. And let's just hope there will be 1 or 2 great clubs that can at least survive a bit longer.
The good news for you, Jan, is there will be a draw tomorrow in Europe. It will be a Champions League draw to find out who's facing who next. This is where we'll find out who Real Madrid will be taking on in those playoffs. And of course, there'll be a lot of talk about the collision course that they find themselves on.